Hello, and welcome to another edition of Delta Media Group's Tech Tuesday, where we think that, we didn't necessarily need a reboot of Tom and Jerry, but we're kind of glad that we got one. I guess the same for Animaniacs, really. This whole nostalgia kick, I don't really feel like it was necessary, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad it's there. So anyway, today we are going to take a look at a feature that we get a lot of questions about, and it's not necessarily a complicated one, it's just more a matter of knowing where it is, how to get to it. But primarily we're going to take a look at the customer merge functionality. And we'll also take a look at the clean up customers tool. The idea here is, we'll just cover the basics as far as how you can clean up your contact database, because it is a common question. So to get there, we're going to click on CRM. Now, at the end of the day, we're just going to the Customer Center page. So whether I click on CRM or I click on Customer Center from the drop-down there, or even just type Customer Center up here in the Quick Actions, any way will get me there, and ultimately it's getting me to this page with this content here. Now, once we're on this page, we are looking for the Actions section. You do have the ability to customize this page, so if you can't see this section, you can click this Edit Layout button up here at the top, and you should have an option for Actions, and you would just use the toggle to switch it on, and then you can actually drag that to whatever position on the page you would like it to be in. Just its order in relation to the rest of the sections that will load on this page. Once you've done that, you just click Save, and then you should have your Action section. So once it's there, in order to merge customers, we'll just click the Merge Customers button. Now from here, depending on how big of a customer database you have, it could take a little time to load up this bottom half of this page. But what we're dealing with here is the section at the top allows me to manually type in the name of a customer account and then choose it from the autocompleter, and that'll act as the primary. And then the secondary is the one that I want to kind of merge into that one. So I would type a name over here, select it from the autocompleter, and then merge the two together. However, if you wait for this section at the bottom to load, this is the system's attempt at finding everything that looks like it could be a potential match. So it's checking on a variety of different criteria here. But at the end of the day, the system thinks that these could potentially be matches, so it gives you an easy way to merge them by kind of pointing them out to you. So a good example, right here we have this Adam Smith contact at the top, and if I open up this dropdown, you can see it found two different Adam Smith contacts. However, the email addresses are completely different on these. So now this could be the same customer, but you're going to know your contact database certainly better than I will. But we'll say that with completely different email addresses, this is not the same contact. The system's not going to know that, it just knows the name was the same. So this is not one I would want to merge. Say these are two completely different people, we'll just leave those alone. Now if we scroll down a bit, you can see we've got a variety of potential matches found in here. But if we select this one, you can see that we have several. A few don't have an email address at all, and then we have another one with an email address. So this one could be a good example of one where there's a good chance that this is actually a duplicate of the same customer. So if we know that this is a duplicate, I'm just going to select one option as my first one, and then we'll go over here to secondary and select another option, and that's the one I'm going to merge into the first one. And then I would click on Merge, and then follow through the process to merge my customers together. So to follow through the rest of that process, we'll go ahead and switch those back to select a customer. We'll run up here to the top, and we'll use this manual merge method. So I'm just going to type in one to give you a good example here. Let's go with Bruce. So we can see we have a few different Bruce Banner contacts, so we'll select the first one. And then having selected one, you'll see that it has suggested me two more potential matches down here. It's basically following the same logic as the system down here, but on a one-by-one basis based on whatever I typed in. So from here, if I know of the name of a customer account that I want to merge into this one, I could type it here and select it from the autocompleter, just like I selected this first one. But in this case, I'm just going to suggest or pull from the suggestions. So let's say I know that this first one is just another account for that same customer, so I'll select it, click Choose. Now you can see it just verifies up here that I want to merge this one with this one. So click here to merge. Now in the next step, it's going to allow us to select which fields from which contact we want to hang on to. So the idea is that what it's really going to do is take whatever fields I select from this contact. So let's say that there was an address here that was different. So I could select all the address fields from this contact. It's going to take all those, copy them into my primary contact, and then delete the secondary contact. Now at the end of the day, that part doesn't really matter to you. What matters is that you have two accounts. You're going to choose the information you want to keep from each one, and at the end, you'll have one account that has the information from both. So that is the beauty of this functionality and the whole merge system in general. So once I have my field selected, I'm just going to click Merge Contacts. There we go. Our contacts have been merged. Now I can choose to go back to the Merge tool to merge another contact, or back to Tools will take me back to the Customer Center. So I'll go ahead and merge another contact. Now this is a good time to point out another piece of this. So one thing you may run into is there may be some customers that you can't merge together. Like you may know that you have multiple accounts for a single customer, but the system won't let you merge them. That is because that this system is partially dependent upon the company settings as far as what you are able to modify and delete when it comes to customer accounts. So if, for example, I had a customer that I had entered manually, and then there was another customer that came in through the company website and was ultimately assigned to me with a fee code attached to it or marked as a fee lead, then based on the company settings, I may not be able to manipulate that fee lead. So I might not be able to delete it. I might not be able to modify it. So I wouldn't be able to merge those two accounts together because you are effectively modifying those accounts. So it's just something to keep in mind in this functionality because that is going to be based on the company settings. But that's all there is to it. So just to give you a quick example of if I were to select one from the list down here, the process is very similar from selecting them manually. Like I said, we'll select our primary, select our secondary, hit merge. You can see it takes us to this exact same field. This one's a good example. Actually, this one's a perfect example of one where I would say, okay, I want to keep the email from this account, but I want to use the, there we go, the address fields from this account. And now when I merge them together, I'm going to have a single account that has the email and name from one and the address from another. That's all there is to it. So let's click on Go Back to Tools this time. You can see that takes us back to our Customer Center. And then the other way that we can modify or clean up our database is with the Clean Up Customers tool. So sometimes there are accounts in here that you don't want to merge together, but you just want to get rid of altogether. Now this tool is based on or really driven by the same company level settings that control whether or not you can merge contacts. So that is why you have an option for return and delete on these. Now you might just have options for return. So based on your company settings or the fact that maybe you have a lot of leads that came from the company here, you may not be able to delete those, in which case if you wanted to take them out of your database, you would select return, and then what that does is unassign you from them. So basically it just takes them out of your contact database, but they're still in the system so that the company can go in and ultimately reassign those. And then if you select delete, that means that you do have access to delete that particular customer because you have a delete option here. If you select that, that does actually delete the contact, so it removes it from the system entirely. Now to use this tool, what you would do is you can show up to 100 results per page, so you can perform bulk actions in up to 100 people, and you just go through each contact and you say, I want to return, I want to delete, return, delete, this one I want to keep, this one I want to keep, I want to delete this one, and that's all there is to it. And then once you have your whole page all set up, you've chosen to return all the ones you want to return, delete all the ones you want to delete, keep all the ones you want to keep, obviously. You just scroll down to the bottom, click Process, and then it'll run through the process of deleting the ones you've chosen to delete and reverting the ones back to the company that you've chosen to return. And that's it. That's all there is to it. So that is how you can go in and you can clean up your customer database, at least through merging and kind of bulk removing customers from your CRM. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to send an email into support@deltagroup.com or give us a call and we can walk you through whatever else you need. So as always, thanks a lot, and I will see you again next week.